Dion won. Nah.
But all right, Shay, so that's all the mailbag we got. Let's kick it over. Outstanding interview with my guy T-Bob Hebert. Talk about this LSU Alabama matchup, and man, he's fired up on this one.
And speaking of fired up, if you're not familiar with T-Bob and you got kids in the car, you may want to mute this one and listen to it at your office or something. we like to throw some words out there, but his free spirit is why he's so popular down there at LSU.
Okay, we are joined for the first time on this show by LSU legend. Can we call you that? A legend, T-Bob Hebert. What's up, brother?
Mike, what's it? Look, man, I don't know. I mean, look, how many other two-time scout team players of the week do you know on the 2007 LSU two-loss national championship team? I would say that's legend status. For those that don't know, me and Mike have been doing a ton of work together on Rivals Down South. It's so much fun. I'm so glad that they asked me because it's supposed to be with AJ McCarron. He ends up going to the NFL. They're like, well, who should we get on there? I was like, well, there's this guy, Mike. He's like really good at talking about the SEC. And it has been a real pleasure. The only thing that bums me out is that the timing's also tight that we don't get to really like hang out or talk more during the breaks because everything I find out about you, we feel like kindred spirits with our like love of movies and the SEC and everything. So yeah. I am very, very, very happy to be here, Mike.
Well, another thing we have in common is our hatred for Alabama. So what's the path to victory for LSU this weekend?
Am I allowed to curse, Mike?
Absolutely.
Okay, because good. Fuck them. That's the path, okay? Fuck them. Fuck them all. I'm so sick of Alabama. You know what the path is? Go light their ass up for Jaden Daniels for 400 total yards and 4 or 5 more touchdowns. That's the path. Will it happen? I don't know. You're in T-Town. Your defense is awful. I'm talking about LSU's perspective here. Their defense is really good, but you know what they don't have? They do not have Jaden Daniels. And sometimes in college football, it can be as simple as what's the difference between the two quarterbacks? And look, I like Jalen Milroe. He does a lot of good things. He's shockingly the second highest rated passer in the SEC to Jaden Daniels, but he ain't Jaden Daniels at the end of the day. So look, I'm too close to this thing to offer any sort of analytical view or great take on how this is going to play out. But all I know, okay, you're a movie guy, Mike. You see Mad Max Fury Road?
Of course.
Okay, you know when they get out the chrome spray paint, witness me, and then they're just going straight in, kamikaze death run to Valhalla. That's me this weekend into T-Town, spray paint my teeth, and witness me as the Tigers go take down the Tide. What's up, baby? Sorry, I'm picking up my daughter from carpool. What's up, man? Teachers are looking at me like I'm crazy because my door was open during that whole rant.
Well, hey, that is a perfect reference to what I wanted to ask you next about Harold Perkins. How will they utilize him, do you think, in this matchup? Do you think they use him as a spy? Do you think they tell him to blitz Jalen Milroe? Because one thing you don't want Milroe coming out the other side. Because aside from Perkins, I don't know if LSU's got anyone that can win a foot race against Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, I mean, I think, okay, so like when we boil these things down, to my layman brain, a spy seems like his best role, right? Because first off, I think, everybody's like, you got to get pass rush against Miller. You got to get pass rush against Miller. It's like, okay, well, everybody's gotten pass rush against Jalen Milroe, though, right? And like, it hasn't really mattered that much at the end of the day. Like, Tennessee was living in that backfield, and it didn't end up mattering in the end. So to me, yeah, it's more about forcing Alabama to play underneath you, to sustain drives. When you make them do that, they are privy to mistakes. In that situation, okay, maybe Perkins as that spy helps to kind of cut down on these large chunk plays from Milroe, and that maybe becomes your best path to success. But Perkins is a complicated individual to judge this year, Mike. Like I can't remember what the exact number is, but PFF has him as maybe the highest graded linebacker in coverage in the country right now. Or he's like top 5. Like, so he's actually been pretty damn good in coverage. He's made a lot of plays out there on the edge and like bubble screens, a lot of TM. So Harold Perkins' role will be multiple, but certainly this game, and really, if you look at last year's tape, he was unbelievable spying Bryce Young. Like he made plays against Bryce Young that cut down classic Bryce Young Heisman winning plays that nobody else makes. So maybe you again bring some of that back. I would think that whatever. It's a long-winded way of saying I don't know how they're going to use him, but to my dumb brain, it would make a lot of sense, like you said, to force him to try to contain Milroe, play underneath, and make Alabama sustain drives.
Yeah. And do you think it's as simple as saying if this is a high-scoring game that favors LSU and they may win it, low-scoring game, Alabama? Because
absolutely.
I look at this LSU, and everybody loves to go to 2019 LSU, and I think that's wildly disrespectful because I think that's the best college football team of all time, 2019 with Joe Burrow. But
yeah,
similarities in the fact that, hey, you want to cover Malik Neighbors? We got Brian Thomas. You want to cover both of them? Oh, we got Mason Taylor. We got Diggs emerging now. We got a great offensive line. And if you find a way to shut all that down, Jaden Daniels will just take off on you. I mean, they have an answer for everything Alabama wants to do. So what's your confidence level that LSU can make it a high-scoring game against Alabama's really good defense?
It was a bit higher before I talked to my gambling expert on snaps that I really trust, and he's leaning towards the Alabama play here, basically saying, look, in Alabama, you have PFF's highest graded secondary. LSU, a lot of what they want to do works off of inside zone. Alabama's excellent against inside zone. If you flip it, a lot of what Alabama wants to do offensively works against inside zone, and LSU's awful against inside zone. So I feel you. I do think, though, that ignores a bit of that LSU explosivity. And I would say this. If you're talking about 2019 LSU, like it's similar in all the ways that you mentioned, but they're actually better in one way, and that is the offensive line. Like I would actually take this offensive line even over the 19 offensive line, and that's going to be the key to me because if LSU can run the ball, then you have no hope of stopping them. If you can stop that run, stop Logan Diggs in the inside zone, LSU can still have success, but it's not as much of a guarantee, and it's not nearly as unstoppable.
Mm-hmm. Now, Alabama's been down multiple times at halftime this year. Tennessee, A&M, they've made the adjustments. They've dominated second halves of big-time matchups. If this game is tied or even if LSU has a lead at halftime, what's your confidence that Brian Kelly and company can prevent Nick Saban from making all those masterful moves that he's been making this season at halftime?
I would say relatively high simply because, like, there's so much proof at this point that if you're up on Alabama at half, that it means nothing, that you can't really let it go to your head, right? Like, you can't get complacent. You can't take your foot off the gas. You can't take it for granted because you've now seen 3 times in a row in which teams have gotten increasingly large leads only for them to dissipate in that second half. I mean, I remember talking to you during the Alabama game, Mike. Maybe a small part of you, when they finally converted in the red zone right before half, maybe a small part of you wanted to give yourself over to belief. But for the most part, you were like a man who's been burned too many times. You were very hesitant to ever believe that Tennessee was actually going to win that game. And so, like that's kind of the attitude you have to take. Like, you can't just believe getting in a half that, okay, we've arrived, because no, Alabama's going to make you pay.
Yeah. But if LSU wins this game, T-Bob, that'll be 3 out of 5. They've beaten Alabama. It'll be back-to-back, including
I know.
Obviously at home. Will this be that dagger into Saban's tiny little black heart?
Whatever is left after all the Horcruxes and everything else that he sacrificed to get to this point. Yeah, whatever shriveled little beating thing remains. It would be so. In many ways, 2019 kind of broke the Alabama curse for LSU fans. But even then, you go back and you lose the next 2, and it's like, oh crap, here we go again. Okay, but then BK comes in. And you win again. Okay, you've won 2 of 4. And it's kind of like, okay, you know what? We've arrived. So already in a lot of ways, the crimson oppression, the just boot on the neck, Roman Empire hold that they had on you for about a decade, a lot of that is gone. But you're right. If you were to win this game, not only is it gone, but you're looking up and you're like, wait, hold up now. Who's the big dog? If you're going to be 2-0 in the Brian Kelly era, winners of 3 of the last 5, well, then all of a sudden, that ain't no fluke. That ain't like, because right now I think it's more of like, well, Alabama's better year in and year out, but you're still capable of beating them, every couple of years. Like if you beat them 2 in a row, 3 of 5 in Tuscaloosa, 2-0 under Brian Kelly, then all of a sudden you're saying, wait, actually, no. Let's go back to our preseason predictions. LSU is better. We should expect to be better. And LSU has the chance to beat them year in and year out. So no, it's got some massive implications in terms of the LSU Bama psyche.
Yeah. If LSU wins, Alabama's dynasty is going to be on. It's a dynasty of second place in the West. So I can't wait to see that. But final thing for you, T-Bob, have you made your prediction yet? Who wins on Saturday?
Okay, so this is again where I'm too close to the case, and when you love something, there's almost an imperceptible line, like we said, to hate, right, and to pessimism. And so analytically, I believe the weakness of LSU is so great, whereas compared to the weakness of Alabama, like if you're only as strong as your weakest link, LSU's weakest link feels way weaker than Alabama does, right? And so that the fact that the game is in T-Town will lead me to say that I think that Alabama probably pulls off a close one. But guess what? I don't got to be an analyst with this game. I can be a fan. And so I say, F that. So like I said, we're spraying chrome, balls to the wall, kamikaze, leave it all on the line, go beat the hell out of the Tide, make Crimson cry. I want to see all those sad Surrender Cobra Alabama frat boys that are going to be somehow trying to explain to their girlfriend why they can't get it up later that night because they're so sad about the Tide losing. That's what I want to see, and that's what I expect to see Saturday night, Mike.
All right. You're the best, man. I really appreciate you, and I guess I'll be seeing you tomorrow, man.
Hold on, boy. How's it been going in the Tennessee circles? Enjoying that Kentucky win this week? Been feeling pretty good.
Oh, we're just swimming in bourbon over here. We won a handful of bets of people now that have to send us that fine Kentucky bourbon.
Oh, no way. Let's go, dude. Heck yes. Oh, that makes me so happy.
36 out of 39. You can't beat I mean, it's not even a competitive series. You know what?
I was very happy for you, dude. I was actually watching the game on my phone, putting my daughter to sleep the other night, like, yes, like cheering quietly. Well, hell yeah, Mike, I will see you tomorrow, man, and you have a great weekend. Tell Cousin Shane I said what's up, and
all right, brother.
Y'all take it easy.
All right, man. Thanks again. All right, so appreciate you, T-Bob. How about, I think that's our first carpool interview. We've actually done a podcast. I don't know if you remember this. You were at the Wendy's drive-thru.
No, it was Burger King.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We've done Burger King, but we've never done the carpool lane.
No, I was there. I was like, it was so funny. I thought I hit mute when they were asking me if I wanted any sauce for my chicken fries or whatever it was. Oh, we come a long way, Mike, ain't we?